Hey, it's another day. Hope everybody out there is doing good and everything's going okay for you. Today we're going to get back on the nightmare, and we're going to work on the trunk area. Now the thing about this, I don't know if you can see it in that camera or not. Let's see, let me go get a light. Alright, can you see this corner? It's got a big hole in the floor. And when I did this back panel back here, when I fixed this, underneath here there's a support. Runs from about, well, it runs all the way across, but from about right here on over there, that support was kind of rusted out. So what I'm going to have to do is I got to remove this brace and cut that out. Now the other side of this thing is not any better. See, I stick my whole arm down in there. So and that brace on this side is bad to about right here. So I'm going to start with these first, and tell you what I'll do also. Set my light up down here, and I'm going to do a little video of the inside of this trunk. So that's two spots. I got the support under the trunk to do on both sides, and then fixing the floor. And then okay, let me show you this corner, bottom edge of that. I'm probably going to have to fix. That's a body mount right there that I got to do something with, all the way up here with this hole. That spot right there. Same thing in this corner over here. And then as we talked about, all of that. So other than those spots, the trunk floor is in really good shape. Okay, so now that you have seen this whole floor, I'll tell you the game plan for the trunk. The hardest part is probably going to be fixing this back here where the supports are. Those supports are 16 gauge, so they'll be a little harder to make, and I'll have to make those in pieces more than likely. So the plan is I'm going to take this support out. It's spot welded up into here somewhere, somehow. Right there, right there. Right there, right there. So I'm going to have to drill the spot welds out. Spot welds down here. I'm going to have to take this brace out. That way I can get to the entire floor. Now, what you can't see behind this brace is there's a rusty spot behind this brace, and I'm going to have to patch also along with that. The rod on this side comes roughly back to about right here. So I'm going to have to fix the floor support, I'm sure, from here to the end over there. Then I'll have to cut this whole section out and patch the floor. Which once I get the floor support in, it's not going to be that big a deal. So then when I come to this side over here, same thing. I have to take this brace out. This one, it looks to be rotted to about the same spot. About right here, somewhere in here. There's a piece of rust right there, so it may be back to here that I have to cut this out. But I'll remove the brace, I'll cut the top of the floor out, and then I'll cut the floor support out, fab up the floor support, mount that back in, and then patch. Once I get the floor supports in, like I said, it won't be that much of a patch back there. Now the nice thing on this side is there's no rust behind this brace. So that's a good thing. So once I get this done, get the body mounts, because there's a body mount in here too, I believe. Yeah, right here and right here. Yeah, right here and right here on both sides, there's a body mount. So I'm sure I'll have to fix those body mounts up. So once I get that done, the body mounts all fixed, everything back in place, tightened down, that way I can do this and the body's not going to shift on me any this way. And get all this back together. This will be structurally sound, and then I can move to these other ones. I'll fix the body mounts first, then I'll fix the floor, then I'll fix the little round spot right there. And that one in the middle, I haven't double checked, but it looks like it rotted where the fuel line ran. It looks like something collected in behind the fuel line that held moisture, or there may be a pocket, but I don't know. I got to get under there and look to be sure. But that spot held some debris and stuff, which held the moisture and rotted out that little circle. I don't know what that's about. But all the fuel lines need to be replaced on this thing. They're in pretty bad shape. I haven't got the tank down to figure out if it needs a new tank yet or not. But so that's where we're at. So you know the game plan. You know what the plan is. I'll get my tools together and get started. So thanks for coming back to the channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. I appreciate it greatly. I seem to wait till the end to ask, but hey, if you can, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, so I kind of know that hey, my videos are at least liked a little bit. That would help. That would help me out. I would appreciate it. That way, I know I'm trying to make some good content. So hit that like button if you like what I'm putting out here. So I appreciate you watching. I appreciate everybody out there that's supporting me. So with that being said, let me get my stuff together, and we're gonna get to work. Alright, you remember in a couple of videos back, I burnt the crap out of my arm? Well, I just ripped the scab off of that burn and started bleeding everywhere. I didn't really realize I was bleeding until I felt it running down my arm. So, anyway, that's taken care of. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Not quite cut through in a couple of spots. trying to come out right there. That's the trunk floor support right there. That's all trunk support right there. If I can figure out where the spot welds are. Trunk supports coming off with disintegrated into there. Wow. Wow. I'm gonna have to come even further back. It is gone right there. Let me get you a little closer look here. Alright. As you can see, it's rotted out to about right here. So that's how far back I got to come at least. That is supposed to come down here and connect into this body mount location right here. And it's supposed to weld to this plate where that body mount is. And then it goes all the way across over to here. I think to about right here or somewhere is where that trunk support's supposed to go. So I'll have to fab up that support, and you see it's going to kind of curves in that way and straightens out and goes to, it kind of follows this body line right here. So I'll figure that out, and I have to fab up the support. And once I get the support fabbed up, and I'm not sure how thick that support is. When you look at it, oh, what you got? When you look at it in here, I can't tell if that's 18 gauge or 16 gauge. It's got an overlap there. I'm gonna have to get my mic out. I'm pretty sure that's 16 gauge. So that's not going to be real fun to make, because 16 gauge is pretty dead gum heavy as far as when you're doing this body work. A lot of the guys on TV, on YouTube and all stuff, a lot of them use 20 gauge. Ian Roussel, when you watch him welding stuff together, I sent him an email asking him what he used, and he told me he mostly used 20 gauge. Now he'll say on camera, if he's going to use 18 gauge, he'll talk about using 18 gauge and how much harder it is to work it, manipulate it, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I use, is 18 gauge there, and then 16 gauge is going to be here, looks like. So I got to make this up, and I got to figure out exactly how that's going to look before I make that up. So stick with me. Hi there, buddy. Here's what I did. I went and got me a piece of paper, and I measured in here, and the inside diameter here is 2 3/4. So I got a piece of paper, and I use this bolt as a center, and I marked where this goes. And this support turns in this way and then straightens out and goes down here. Okay, so that's the way that runs. And it might need to turn I think this needs to go over just a touch, like so. There we go. That's more better. Alright, so I'm going to take this piece and make the flat section, because it turns this way and it straightens out, and then right here you can see this body line drops, so it drops just a little bit to come down to meet this mount. So I'm going to go make this, and then I'm going to bend it down and straighten it out to where, and I got to cut a notch in it to where it fits over this, because that plate is going to weld to this. And then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to come back before I put all this together. I'm going to cut the top of this bolt off and see if I can get it out. I don't know if I can get it out or not. I may have to end up cutting it and drilling it, and then putting it in. Retap it and all that kind of stuff. So once I get this flat piece in, then I'm going to measure the sides, and I know it should be 3/4, a little less than 3/4, about 5/8 turn on the top. That side's more narrow than this side. No, it's 3/4. 3/4 bend this way, and then we'll have, looks like a 1 inch down. So I'll make that flange, and then I'll weld that to that flat plate from inside here, and that should give me my support, and then I can lay the sheet metal over the top of it. So let me go work on cutting this out, and I'll be back in a second. Well, I had to go and tweak my pattern a little, my template. because this side was so eat up, I didn't have any idea exactly where this side ran. There was enough left on that side that I could see that when it gets to the body mount, when it passes the body mount, it jogs back over. It kind of follows this body line in here. You see where it dips in this way. When it gets past the body mount, it comes back out. So I had to kind of tweak it so it kind of follows that contour now. So there's my shape that I need. I got this cut out to fit. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to set that over there. I'm going to cut the top of this bolt off right here, and I'm sure that thing is rusted completely through. The nut side of that seems to be okay, but I'm going to cut this rusted part off, threads and stuff. I'm going to cut that off smooth and get my impact, and I'm going to see if I can get that bolt out of there. And if I can get that bolt out of there, I'll run it back in there, so I'll have this the level where I need it, and then I'll make my piece. So stick with me just a minute. Keep your fingers crossed. All right. Come on. Well, I guess that works too. So much for that bolt, huh? Rusted completely out. Alright. Tell you what I need to do. I need to drill that out and tap it for a new bolt. So I'm gonna go do that. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm gonna drill that out, tap it, take this washer off. See if I can knock this washer off. There's the top washer and the bottom washer right there. Those are still pretty good. And I can get the old part of the floor knocked off of here too. And I'll drill that out and re-tap it. And then I'll have to, let's see, I'll have to weld that to the new support. So then I have a place to bolt down to. So hang with me for a minute. Let me go do that. So I got my template all set up. Now I'm gonna put it on here and try and cut it out. And I'm trying to be as thrifty as I can because this is all the 16 gauge I have left. So I gotta cut 2 of these floor pieces, and then I gotta cut 4 side pieces. So I want to make sure I am as thrifty with this as I can be. 22.5. So it's going to leave me with some pieces, some short pieces there. So 22.5, 22.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm going to be running low on 16 gauge, and this stuff is expensive. So let's get this cut out. And I can save this piece. Hopefully I can flip it for the other side. That's what I'm hoping. I'm going to set that off to the side over there. Alright. Let me go get my cutoff wheel real quick. This is about as thick a material as you can cut with these shears. Can't really cut anything thicker. And I got a brand new set of shear jaws on here, so hopefully it's going to cut nice. There's my piece. Now I'm going to have to drill a hole. Alright, let's go see how that fits. Okay, let's see how it lays in here. Make sure I can trim it just a little bit. If any of you guys and gals are wondering, my daughter bought me one of those gimbal, I think they call it gimbals, that follows you around. So as I move, it follows me around. So I'm kind of playing with it, trying to learn and figure out how it's going to be. The problem I have is shooting at an angle. When it turns, it can't follow me that far because then the camera turns and points up. So it works better when the camera is level. But in this situation, I'm going to try and make it work. We'll see how it does and go from there. I got to trim some of this down. It lays in there okay, but I'm a little fat on this side, so I got to trim this off over here. Okay, trim the ends down. I open this up a little bit so it fits better. And if you can see, I got it curved here to meet the contour that's going there. So I lay this in there. Got it where it needs to be. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this end off. I'm going to tack this piece in right here. And I'm going to tack it right here. And then I'm going to make my top pieces. Now what I've done is, that sits right there. I laid my level up here. Checked it. That's where my floor is going to be. And I measured from there to there. It's 1 inch. That's what I need. The sides of this support are 1 inch where it flanges here. So I'm going to cut this. Tack this in. I'm just probably going to tack it with 1 tack in case I got to cut it out. Then I'm going to go make my supports. So here we go. Okay, I'm going to go cut a piece 21 inches long that's 1.75 inches wide. And I'll bend it because the top edge of this is 3/4 and then it's 1 inch down. So that'll give me a flange, and I'll weld that to this bottom piece, and that'll make my support on this side, and then it'll make it on this side. So let me go do that. I'll be right back. Alright, this 16 gauge, it's really hard to manipulate. It's not like the 18 or 20. So working it in the shrinker stretcher, trimming it up, this is what I got. Okay. So this fits right there. Like that. And this ledge is still a little high, but I can hammer that down a little bit to make it work when I put the floor on. So that's that side. So now I got to do this other side, and I really made this harder than it needed to be for me. I should have just came off of here. And the factory made it swoop around. And really and truly, I could have came at an angle to here and angled it back like that instead of doing that swooping. It would have made it a lot easier on me. And the bad thing is I'm a dummy because I went ahead and cut the other matching piece to this for the other side. So I'm still got to fight it on the other side. So that's where we're at. This piece has got a little different angle on it than that side. So I'm going to go cut another piece and fab up this side. So when I get back, you don't need to sit here and watch me go back and forth to the shrinker stretcher 100 times trying to make this. So y'all seen me do that before. So I'm going to go cut this piece and put it in the shrinker stretcher, fab it in the shape I need to, and when I get it done, I'll come back and we'll weld them in. So stick with me. All right, I got the other side made, got it welded in. Well, I got it tacked into place. I got to finish welding it in, and then I got to make the floor patch for it. So hoping the floor patch won't be that bad a deal. The support was the hard part of that. I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. I'm going to finish this one up, put my brace back in, all that. You'll get to see all that. But then I'm going to do the other side off camera because it's repeat of the same exact thing. So when I get the other side done after this, then we'll take a look at what it looks like. So, but that's it. The mount's back in. There's a brand new bolt in there. Everything is lined up. I just got to make the patch panel for this, and it's going to come up to, I'm probably going to make patch panel to here, and then I got to come up here and I got to patch this spot right here. I got to patch that and this too. The other side doesn't have that, so I won't have to worry about patching it up that high on the other side. So the other side hopefully will be a little easier. Hang with me for a second, and I'm going to finish weld this, and then I'm going to make a template for the floor patch, and we'll see about fabbing that and putting that in. So all right, let me show you how I got to where I'm at right now. Cut me a template. Okay, I took the template and went over here to my sheet metal, and how did I lay it in there? Must have been like this. Laid it in there like that. Cut my piece of metal out. Okay. Then I took the piece of metal and I kind of marked it how it needed to lay in here. Okay. Then I took it and I went over to my bead roller with this attachment right here, and you run it through there, and you run it through there. See how it curves that edge? So turn that edge down, then I flipped it over like this and ran it through there, and it turned that edge down. So then that's what I got. Okay. So then I set up my little T-dolly, and I came back over here, and because this area right here, if you look at it, it drops down and flattens out. So I matched that on this by sticking it in the shrinker stretcher. Okay, so when I got it where it laid down in there, then I laid it in here, and I had some edge issues. You can see my marks. See my mark here and here and here, my mark down here, and my mark here, and my mark here. That's where it hadn't quite rolled over enough or rolled up enough. So that's when I took it over to the T-dolly and I hammered it in. Then I come back, and right now it is close to being ready to go in. I've got some final fitment grinding and stuff to do. just to get it to fit like it needs to perfectly. It's real close right now. I'll hit it a few times with the grinder and I'll get it ready. So give me just a second. When I get the final fitment done, then I gotta go mark it and drill my spot weld holes so I can spot weld it to that support and weld it in. So when I get the holes drilled and everything, I'll come back and I'll show you the piece when after it's made and fitted completely, and we'll get it tacked in. So okay, I got everything trimmed up, fitted in. I took some self tappers and screwed it down in place. Everything's lined up. I treated underneath it with some weld through primer and some paint underneath, and then when I lift the body off, I'm going to take care of the underside of it, because it's going to get paint and probably some undercoat of some kind, but it's set up and ready to go. So I'm going to set you guys up over here to the side. Let me get you set up. Alright, we're going to get this piece tacked in real quick. It's all tacked in. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish weld it, weld all the spot welds in and get it finished up. So stick around with me for a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, after a little while of welding, and I fabbed up those two other spots that I had to patch back here. I'll show you that. But after all the welding, it's all welded in. That was the two patch spots that I had to fix that was behind that brace. So I got that done. So that's all welded in. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually starting the other side. And when I get done with it all, I'll come back and I'll show you the finished product with the braces welded back in and everything is done and finished as far as this part of the trunk. So let me go work on that, and it'll probably be tomorrow for me, but it'll be just a few seconds for you. So hang around with me, and thanks for watching again, and we'll see what it looks like when it's done. All right, guys and gals, it's actually 2 days later, and I got in here and finished welding, or got this side done, the passenger side done and installed, and got everything ground down, got the supports all welded back in. So here's what everything looks like. That is the passenger side, and we flip around, there's the driver's side. Now, I didn't grind everything down super smooth and pretty, because being in this trunk, nobody's ever going to see it. So what I'm going to end up doing, I'm going to seam seal this, and then it'll all get primed, and then this will all get sound deadener, like Dynamat or whatever. I don't use Dynamat. I've got some stuff off of Amazon that's less expensive, but that's all going to be covered up, so you're not going to see it. So I didn't grind my welds down a lot, because I didn't want the metal to get too thin, especially since this is a support area and a body mount area. I wanted it to be as strong as possible, so that's why I didn't grind it down real smooth and pretty and all that. I didn't want to take a chance on cutting the metal down too thin or whatever in these areas. it's going to get covered up. It's never going to be seen. So why take the extra time to do all that? So I didn't get to work on it as much the following day from the previous clip. And I did a little bit yesterday, and then I came back and finished it back this afternoon. So but that's all done. Next up, let me get this turned around where you can see. Next up is going to be the corner there, that spot there. There is another spot right there that's not as bad as that spot, but it's that spot, and then we'll do that spot. So I'll probably do the same thing with that. I'll fix one side and then do the other side off camera and come back to the finished product. I do have to get under there and see. There's something spot welded to this area right there, and for some reason that's collected moisture or whatever. I think that's a fuel line over there, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to have to crawl under there and take a look, see what I can see to see what's there. But I want to fix the body mounts first, get that taken care of, and then I'll come back and fix those two spots. So really and truly, all that's left on this thing is that part of the trunk. There's two spots under the rear seat area on the floor pan that I didn't fix when I did the front floor pans. I got to smooth the firewall out, and oh, and I forgot, there's this little spot right here that I got to patch. So then all the metal work will be done on the car itself. I think I do have to patch the inner fender wells on the front, but I don't remember. I got to go get them and take a look at them and see. I think there's just a little bit of stuff that needs to be patched on those. So we're trudging right along. Next time we get back on the Nightmare, that's what we'll be doing, is them other trunk mounts. So thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for watching. Like I said before, if it's your first time to watch, please subscribe. Please hit the like button if you like what I'm doing. I'd appreciate it. Like I said, it lets me know that, hey, there's people out there liking what I'm doing, so I'd appreciate that greatly. This will be the end of the video, so like I always say, hey, keep your head up. Don't look down on yourself. Don't look down on others. Get out there and work on these old rides. Save a part of history. So until next time, bye.